it wasn't like a hard shake or anything. It wasn't too far back, but I can't really say for sure.
Did it go back like this?
No, it didn't go back like that. It went back like that. Just he wasn't paying attention.
Friends, today's doo-doo dum-dum is Matthew Byrd. He found his girlfriend's son unconscious in the backyard. He claims the boy Shiloh, who was 2 years old, fell off a table in the house. But of course, police aren't buying that story given the injuries the boy suffered. Now in this interview, Milo and Anthony get mentioned. There are other kids living in the house. Marlena also gets mentioned. She is Matthew's ex-girlfriend that's living with him. Shiloh's name is redacted in this video, so whenever he's mentioned, it does mute. So let's see what Matthew has to say to police. At this moment, Shiloh is still alive at the hospital.
I don't know, I'm just kind of naturally protective over children, so I told her flat out. I told her this, she didn't tell me. I told her, I want to make sure we're good and that we're going to last and try to work at this before I bring your kids into it, because I don't want you bringing men in and out of their lives because it's not fair to them.
Yeah.
So the kids didn't even come into my life till about the time she moved in.
And that was roughly what month? That was
Past month.
This is like the beginning of June, so
Yeah, she hasn't
we
even
say
lived
like
there
the
with
beginning of May, end of April, or
May, beginning of May. Because she hasn't even lived there like barely a month yet, maybe a month and a half, if even that.
Okay. And when she moved in, how was the living arrangement at the house?
Me and her slept on the couch at first,
Mm-hmm.
and then we switched rooms with Anthony, and he would sleep on the couch because he started working a lot more, and I mean, he usually is at work. He doesn't even really sleep.
Wow.
Yeah. And gave the kids my room. As you saw, all my stuff's still in there because I just didn't want to take it all down because I am a poster junkie. You saw that. I'll admit that. And every time I seem to take my posters down, they get ripped. I used to have a big Pink Floyd poster, and from transporting it so much, it ended up getting ripped in half.
So,
Yeah. And a lot of, some of those posters in there aren't even mine, so I left them up.
gotcha.
And my computer was way too much of a hassle to move out, and I figured the kids aren't going to mess with any of that because they only sleep in there, really.
So basically, that middle room that was there, that was your room, and then Anthony did have the back room before
Marlena came around because me and Lana, of course, needed a room of our own, and the kids have to have a room of their own. So Anthony agreed to just go ahead and sleep on the couch because he really never does anything but work anyway. So
it's pretty nice of him.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? He was the original one that was on the lease with you guys, and you two initially got the house together, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then he agreed to sleep on the couch, and the kids had the middle room, and you guys had the back room. Okay.
Yeah, because it was always pretty much my house. Because,
You guys split the rent, or?
Yeah, we all split the rent. Of course, with me not working right now, it's kind of hard for me to pay for anything.
Marlena paying your part of that rent?
Yeah.
Or okay.
I feel like crap about that, too.
It is what it is, man. People lose their jobs all the time.
I know, but
Gotta work through it.
I'm old-fashioned, man. I was born and raised here. I'm man support the woman kind of guy, you know.
Right. Back to the house. We kind of went over a little bit last night, the holes in the walls and things like that. What's the deal with them?
Drywall. As you know, the one hole was from my guitar hitting the wall because I admit I did throw it a little bit too hard because I'm a guitarist. I put a hole in my new Fender acoustic, and that's my favorite guitar. I was a little upset, but I barely tossed it. It did hit the wall first and land on the bed, but I didn't throw it that hard. And then, as you know, the one from right in front of the bed, that's one day I went to stand up on the bed and Lana was laying right next to me. I ended up tripping over her and my knee went into the wall.
Oh, she was there in the bed?
That whole section on my leg.
Okay. So she was laying there in the bed when that happened?
So when was that?
I don't know exactly when it was.
3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
It was within a month ago. Yeah.
What about the thing with the guitar?
That was the same day.
It was all the same day?
I've had a lot of issues with my bedroom door, or the bedroom door, and
How safe is your online information? In today's digital age, a hacker can expose your home address, contact info, and even your social security number in seconds. But there's a solution: Cloaked. Cloaked identifies and removes your personal information from data brokers and shady websites, then generates on-demand aliases to disguise your phone number, email address, and even credit card. It's like an invisible cloak for your personal information. You can secure yourself by signing up for Cloaked when you visit cloaked.com/truered and receive 20% off your subscription when you use the code TrueRed at checkout. Get Cloaked and protect your privacy before it's too late, because your data deserves to stay yours. Link is in the description.
One day I went to open it, and the screws are only like that long, holding it into the wall. And the whole thing ended up falling down and hitting my guitar right inside, and they put a hole like that big in it.
That made you mad, huh?
Yeah.
So what happened? You picked it up and...
I picked it up and tossed it because I was going to pick up the door and try to fix it. And I wasn't even looking. I just tossed it like that, and it hit the wall. I did throw it a little too hard. I admit that. But
We're not here about you throwing the guitar against the
Yeah.
wall. We're just trying to find out what's happened to all these things, and I saw the hole in your guitar.
I cried about that. I honestly did.
You said that you and Marlena were in that room when it happened, when the wall incident
The
happened.
boys weren't there. We let Anthony sleep in the other bed, and we took their bed.
Where were they at?
Milo was with Marlena's mom, and that's when she was there.
Oh, okay. So yesterday, when you were at the house, the kids were outside in the front. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And how was the house situated that day? How was the blinds? How was the door?
Exactly as you guys saw it.
Okay, so the blinds were mostly closed.
Yeah.
And the door, when you were there, was it open, closed?
Closed.
Okay. And where were you at?
In the kitchen. About ready to wash dishes.
You're about ready to wash dishes?
Yeah, I had just started scraping off plates from their food and stuff. Because, kids, there was food all over the place. I had to scrape them off. They weren't even outside maybe 10, 15 minutes. And that's when the baby started crying, and I ran out there.
Okay.
I hadn't really had a chance to check on them because they had just went out there.
Mm-hmm.
So
you think it was about 10 or 15 minutes is all they were out there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you put them out there, what was the first thing or the last thing that you saw them doing? What they do when you went out there?
Ran over to the toy box and started pulling out toys, and Milo just started walking towards it, like always.
Where's the toy box at?
All those cardboard, right now they're just cardboard boxes because the toys are spread out everywhere, but all those cardboard boxes you saw in the front, those are usually up under the bleachers with all the toys in them.
Okay.
Those were all my toys and stuff when I was a little kid. I went and got them from my mom not too long ago for the boys to play with because they didn't have too much at the house to play with.
Okay. So Milo went straight out and went for the toys?
The toys. Milo just, he kind of drags around sometimes.
Is he mobile? Does he walk around on his own?
He walks around on his own just fine. He likes to run, like he'll throw his feet out in front of him. He trips a lot because of that. And he likes to, I'm paranoid to let him walk down the stairs by himself because he'll just run down the stairs like this, throw his front down first. And so I usually carry him down the steps, which just as I did that day. But fine, he went down the steps just fine, except for the occasional jump.
So how long did you stay outside with them?
I carried Milo down the steps, set him down. I said, "Go play, boys. Be good. Stay on the cement." And I turned around, closed the door, and started cleaning off the dishes.
So you hadn't started actually washing them yet, you just
No.
were cleaning them
I
off?
was cleaning. There was a lot of food on a lot of plates.
Did you just fed them, or
Yeah,
what did you feed them?
ravioli.
And then when you went back outside, what did you see?
Milo sitting there.
And they were where?
Shaq laying there, head towards the stairs, feet towards the bleachers, about a foot away, 1.5 feet, just laying there. Milo was sitting almost right next to him, facing the other way.
When you say sitting, was he cross-legged? Was he kneeled down? How was he?
He just had his legs out like this, like really not any specific way, just legs out.
Freaking out's fine, man. I mean, that's a normal reaction.
I'm so scared, man.
What are you scared of?
I don't want anything to happen. I love that kid.
Okay. Right now, you don't have something to be scared of. Right now, we're just trying to find out what's going on. We need to know so that we can explain things to the doctors as well.
It's understandable. I just, as far as I know, I'm changing, responding, and I'm scared to death. Because Lena's lost one baby, basically two, and I lost my brother not too long ago, and we just can't take it. She's flipping out, I'm flipping out.
Alright, relax for a minute. Tell me what happened when you went outside.
I was just staring, and so I picked up like this.
When you say you stood up, show me how we did.
Thing, just like this, right here. Wake up. And just like zombified completely. He wasn't looking at me, he was almost looking past me.
And you see it?
Barely, they were like open like this, and it was just like that.
Okay.
Like, sporadically, like trouble, like.
You could hear those noises?
Yeah, well, I put my ear down. That's because the first thing was I wanted to make sure I was beating were going.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so what happened?
Up right on the couch, and I started pushing up the chest like this, trying to get lungs to start going normally, and I don't know if that was right, I don't know if that was wrong, I was honestly panicking, and when I couldn't get any kind of response out of it, I even tried to offer animal crackers he loves. I thought maybe something familiar that he'd get him to come back. That was, and I couldn't get any response, so I ran over to the store and I called Lena I called Anthony and he told Lena because our phone was on, of course, and I didn't know the store number. And I told Anthony, something happened, he hit his head, something's wrong, Lena needs to get home now. And she got home within 5 minutes and she ran into the couch and started yelling at me. Go. And she yelled at me to go call an ambulance, and I ran back over to the store, called 911.
How did you get to the store?
I ran.
Did you run down 473?
No, I jumped over the fences.
How many fences?
Two.
Two.
There's a picket or chain link fence. You know the Galaxy House one right there? I went through their parking lot.
Okay.
You were concerned, obviously, when you saw he wasn't responding.
I was scared to death, man.
It's understandable. You're in charge of a couple of kids, and it's a concern, and you're worried. You love those kids, so I understand that you were concerned. You took it aside. You tried to do a little bit of CPR.
Tried going right. Try to help.
Did you hear something before you went out there?
Like what?
Did you hear a thud? Did you hear something crash? Something else
I
happened?
heard the bleachers move a little bit, but that's normal because they like to climb on them. I really hadn't thought too much about it.
Which area do they normally climb on?
They like to climb up on the top of the bleachers. Milo doesn't climb too much. I mean, Milo will walk up on the stairs, but that's about it. Milo doesn't get on the bleachers too much because it's too high. To stand up on top of the bleachers and jump off. I've actually yelled a few times about that.
Just a quick question. Were the kids wearing shoes?
No.
No, they're barefoot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the thing is that something else has happened, and we need to know what else it is. The fall that happened, it didn't happen from that table. We know that. Fall off the steps. His head on the steps. Nothing out there is enough to make this happen. Something else happened. And
I want to know just as much as you.
that's all I'm looking for is what happened. We need to be able to tell.
Well, one interesting fact, Lana was talking to her father earlier, and I guess he wanted to find out a little bit about the brain injury, and he had called a neurosurgeon up in Illinois. And I don't know the exact facts, but from what Lana's father told her, an injury swelling like this takes at least a day or two to present itself, to swell as much as his head was.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, it might have not even happened that day. He might have not even jumped, I don't know, I just know he was there.
I've talked to the doctors and something like that.
Okay.
It's not something that happened over a day ago. It's something that happened. It happened that day.
Well, I don't know.
I need to know what happened so that we can explain things and we can understand what happened. Because right now, with what we have, it's
And so we can try to help the doctors and help the baby. If we can know what happened to him specifically, maybe we can get the doctors a little bit of insight. Is there anything else that happened?
No, I'm telling you everything I know. I didn't do anything to it. I swear to you I didn't. I'm not that kind of person.
I'm not saying you're a bad person.
I could never hurt children, man.
And I don't think you had any intention on that. I don't think that at all. I think this is something that was bad that happened, and it's a complete accident. I don't think you went out there to hurt that kid. I think something else happened, and it was an accident. But I gotta know what the accident was so that I can understand it. I'm not out here to say you're a bad person. I can tell you that right now. I mean, you're doing a respectable thing. You're taking care of these kids for Marlena. You're doing everything you can. You don't have a job right now, which is tough, but you're making up for it. You're watching these kids. You're doing good
And they're not
things.
even your kids, man. You don't even have to be watching them. Just taking care of them for her.
Their father hates you. You hate their father, and you're still out there. Okay. Well, you're still out there, taking care of his kids basically, and hers. That shows the respect that you have for Marlena. I'm not out here saying you're a bad person by any means, but I know something happened, and I need to know what it was. I believe it was an accident, and I need to understand exactly what it was so I can understand that it's an accident, basically. But if you don't help me with that part of it, then I'm not going to understand it that way. I know that kid didn't get hurt from falling from the table. I know that. The doctors that have looked at him know that. They're trying to figure out what happened so they can figure out how to treat it. And that the stuff that you've said, it doesn't work. The table's not high enough. The concrete there, it didn't work. Nothing there works. Something else happened. And that's what I need to understand.
Okay, so to give you more information on the incident, Shiloh had been playing outside in the family's trailer. He was found, I'll read this out to you, he was found bleeding profusely from the head. He was then airlifted to a hospital and he ended up on life support, as he is currently during this interview. Doctors who examined Shiloh's injuries said he had been abused, and a medical examiner called the case a homicide. Matthew himself had a history of domestic violence and a penchant for drugs and alcohol. In fact, 10 months earlier, Shiloh's biological father reported that Matthew had left a $25 bag of marijuana in the trailer and that Shiloh's siblings had ingested it. However, the report was closed later with no indicators of substance misuse and inadequate supervision. What the hell? During this interview, when police searched the trailer, they found marijuana stashed in the children's bedroom. What kind of life were these people living? Anyway, let's continue.
We're just trying to make sure everything that we have is
That's accurate. I'm really uncomfortable right now. I feel like you guys are trying to accuse me of hurting my little. I didn't do it.
And we're not here to accuse you. We're trying to find out what happened. We're here to help.
I know, and I'm here to help too. You guys are really killing me right now.
I'm not accusing
My
you.
brother died and cops accused me of it too.
We're just trying to find out what happened.
I'm not capable of something like this.
I don't think you were out
Ask
there to hurt
anybody I
him.
know.
I don't think you had any intention of hurting him. But we gotta know what happened. I mean,
I tossed it down around sometimes on the couch. I hadn't that particular day, but I do.
Okay.
But it's nothing violent, it's nothing mean, it's playing with it. Pick it up and I'll toss it around the couch and up and say, do it again.
Okay.
And that's about the most manhandling I've ever gotten, is when I'm playing with it. It's a tough little shit. I'm gonna beat my ass.
Can you walk us through that day one more time? And the reason I ask is because
You want to hear the whole thing?
I want to hear the whole thing.
Lana's alarm woke us both up.
Okay.
Because she had to get up for work. And as always, I have to get up too because she can't get ready for work and watch the boys at the same time because they have to be right there with her when I'm not up. So I got up, I put on PBS for them, and she had left for work. We had all barely been up because she gets ready fast and goes to work. I put on PBS for them, they sat down and started playing with their toys. I made ravioli, put it on the plates, put it at the table, had them come sit down. They were eating, and about the time he was done, stood up in his chair and said, all done, and to lean back, he fell, he hit his head on the table.
What part of it? Slow down a little bit. Like right there, like the back of the neck, base of the head. Okay, so backwards.
But he's done that a few times. I get on all the time for standing up in that chair, falling so many times and sit on that table behind it.
On the corner, on the
Right on the edge, like right here. This part of his head right here.
this part here right there. Okay. How far was the chair away? Can we set it up to what you think it was?
Okay. This is the breakfast table. Here's the other table. Stood up and fell backwards like that.
You're talking about the table in the living room then?
Yeah.
The one that's in front of the couch, like the coffee
No. I'm talking about as you're walking into the kitchen. You know the table with snakes on?
Yeah.
That's where they were eating, and it's the table right behind his chair. Behind the couch. The table behind the couch.
I remember. I'm just trying to remember the layout. Is that a black table?
No, dark brown. The black table's the one in the living room.
Okay. I'm just confused. I'm sorry.
It's
And
fine.
it was one of the wooden chairs from the kitchen table.
Yeah. He sits in the wooden chair because I have a bunch of papers stacked there for a booster seat. Because Milo likes to stand up in his chair too, so I have to strap him in. And
How did the chair fall backwards?
fell straight back. Kind of buckled as it fell. Came down, his head hit back, and I was right there on the couch when it happened.
You were on the couch right there?
Yeah, beige couch.
What?
I jumped up, stood up immediately and said, my head hurts. I stood up the chair and up in the chair, shirt off.
How did you sit up in the chair?
Yeah,
How did you do it? How did you?
by his waist and sit down in the chair.
Okay.
Did you talk at all before you sat in the chair?
It was okay. It's just too much. Way too much to handle. It felt like it was my fault all day at the hospital and then everything, and then I hear that they're actually trying to accuse me of it.
Who's accusing you?
That's just what I hear. Aaron fucking calling me a baby killer and everything, trying to say I did this. Ask anybody that knows me. I will give you names, numbers. I would never do this. I used to babysit my sister's kids all the time, and they were far worse than Milo. And I love those kids. One of them was actually at the hospital with my sister yesterday. I'm not capable of intentionally hurting a child.
They don't believe you intentionally hurt the child.
That's what we're trying to understand so that we know what did take place. When you left details out, we were concerned because we know that's not what happened.
Well, I want to tell you everything. I want to share everything, but you got to work with me.
And that's what
It was a very stressful experience, and I just...
I was talking with a doctor, and he's asked, and I would like to see if it's okay with you if we can go back out to your house. And basically, he wants to see a video replay of what happened. So if you can wouldn't mind taking me out there and showing me.
Do we have to do this today?
I'd like to, because we need to get it to the doctor. I'll take it down to the doctor afterwards and get it to him.
I kind of have a friend at my house right now that came to keep me company, and I'd really like to maybe do this tomorrow or something.
And it's going to be important for the doctor to see it and understand it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not telling you that you have to do it. I'd really
I'd
like
like
to,
to,
because I want to help out.
I don't want to involve my friends in this.
Is there a chance you can give your friend a call? See if they can come back in a little while? Or
I don't have a phone.
there's no phones for them?
I don't have his number.
Oh, okay.
His number is in my phone that's deactivated at my house right now.
Oh, okay. They really wanted to see it soon. That's the only reason that I'm asking. I mean, if I had time to spare, I'd definitely give it to you. I mean, I've done everything I can to make sure this is as easy as it can be for you. All we're going to do won't be near as long as last time. It'll be just going out there, you showing me. And they basically just want like you to go through it, videotape it. You can use, I'll give you either a doll or you can use me as and show me how it happened. Okay.
I could possibly do it later today. So I can get home and send them home. I just really don't want to involve my friends in this, man. They don't need that. They can't be.
Where's your friends from?
My friend Alex is from Eustis. Justin should be there by now. He's also from Eustis.
I mean, I know that there's something going on, right?
Yeah, they came to keep me company because I've been really tore up and they went up to the hospital. And the last thing I want to do is make them uncomfortable and involve them in this.
But they know that there's a kid that needs help there.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think they'd understand.
Well, if you want to do it, let's go.
I know it's rough, man, but it would really be helpful.
I actually do have the video footage of them going to the crime scene and replaying it, as you can see behind me. I'll play it for you now. There's no blood or bodies or anything. Most of it is redacted, and then we'll get back to the interview.
First off, let's start out with and when you say you want to help, you're okay, and you do wish to speak with us.
I want to talk about
Okay. Have you talked to Marlena recently?
not in the past. I think yesterday morning was about the last time I saw her. She's been at the hospital.
Okay. What else she told you is going on so far?
Last I heard, he's starting to get a little bit of reflex back, but I haven't heard much.
Okay. Has she told you what the doctors are telling her? Or? No. Okay. Well, the reason I have you back in here is we've learned some new stuff, and we want to find out if you can try to explain some things to us. We know from the last time that we talked to you that you said that basically the night before and the morning before this whole thing happened, everything was still going fine.
Mm-hmm.
Kids were still up and around, they were still moving fine. Seemed like normal. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Did he ask for food that morning? Or who asked for food? Or
I just fed him breakfast as usual.
those ate good?
Yeah. Actually ate man half and
Okay.
And breakfast was ravioli.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What kind of ravioli was it? Was it kind of a can? Was it?
Yeah, it was the Chef Byrd cheese ravioli and tomato sauce.
Okay. And when you told us that you had ravioli at the table, it was sitting there at the table, and it was over here.
Mm-hmm.
When the mess occurred, or when they fell and it made a mess, what went where?
I don't know exactly.
Where did the trays go? I mean, you said they had raviolis, right?
Yeah. Had it all over his hands, so it could have gotten anywhere, but as far as I know, the plates didn't on the table.
Okay. So when he fell, what caused the ravioli mess? Was it his falling that caused the ravioli mess, or did he already have a mess on him before
I
he
don't know.
fell?
I noticed it after it fell, so I can't really say for sure. I know when I picked him up, I had it all over his hands and all over his shirt, so.
Okay, so when you referred to the mess, my thought was, and I want to make sure that I have this understood correctly,
Mm-hmm.
when you said you made a mess with the raviolis, I thought when it fell that the raviolis went everywhere on the floor.
No.
That's not the case?
No, the plate and everything still stayed on the table, but when I picked him up and put it back in the chair, I mean, it looked like he had his hands in the ravioli sauce.
Okay.
It was all over his hands, all over his face right here, and like just wiped it on his shirt at times while he was eating, honestly. That was my thought, but no, nothing.
So it wasn't like raviolis all over the floor. That was my thought on it. That's what I wanted to clear up.
Yeah.
Because obviously we didn't see ravioli on the floor when we got there, and I wanted to know what happened.
It was nothing like that. It was just on him.
Was it anything on the table or anything?
It was a little bit of sauce on the table, but you know.
Did you clean that up?
Yeah.
Or?
I usually try to wipe the table off because they usually do make a mess on the table. Because they're kids, they're messy.
When did you clean that up?
Sometime while I was waiting on the ambulance. I can't really say when. I just wiped it off. It might have been while they were outside.
Okay. So while you're waiting for the ambulance, you wipe the table off.
I can't really say when it was. I just remember wiping it off. But that day went by so fast. Honestly, man.
Okay, so from the time that it fell to the time the ambulance got there, it was sometime between that.
Between that.
What did you use to clean it up with?
A rag
And where was that rag at?
in the sink.
Okay. Was it the sponge in the sink or was it a rag?
I think it was the sponge.
Okay. Were you the only one there when you cleaned it up? Or,
yeah.
Other than the kids?
Yeah.
Okay. So it wasn't when Marlena was there. It was before Marlena got there.
Yeah.
Okay. And what did you tell Marlena when she got there?
I just told her, she asked me where she was. I said it was on the couch and she ran into it.
She didn't ask you what happened, what's going on?
And not at first, she was freaking out.
Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Anthony had already told her that he hit his head because I told Anthony when I called him that he hit his head, something's wrong, I'm moving. So, I mean, I can't really say what she knew at that point. I just know when she got there, she said, "Where is he?" I said, "On the couch," and she ran in the house.
Okay. And after you went to get up from the table, or after falling, he'd fallen first, hit his head, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
That was the first thing that happened after they got done eating, basically.
Yeah.
He'd fallen hit his head. There's no doubt that was the first thing. You didn't hit it afterwards, right?
After what? Yeah.
After you got on about making a mess.
No, I noticed the mess after I picked him up from the floor.
Okay. So you didn't get on him and then he fell backwards?
No.
Okay.
Fell back because I was in the kitchen while they were eating, and then he had fallen back because he stood up in the chair, and that's when I came over to him. When he stood up, I knew he had a mess on him.
How many times would you say he shook back and forth? How many times did his head go backwards and forward?
It was just one time like this. That's it.
And how far back did it go?
I can't really say it wasn't like a hard shake or anything. It wasn't too far back, but I can't really say for sure. I mean, I don't want to say it went back this far and then it went back this far.
I mean, did it go back like this? Did it go back like this?
No, it didn't go back like that. It went back like that. You know, just up. He wasn't paying attention.
Did it come back forward?
Not really. It just came up to like right here. It's just like that.
Did he say anything?
Just looked at me.
And you're still sitting in the chair when that happened?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you did that, where were your hands?
On the arms.
Tops of the arms, outside of the arms?
Right here. Both hands were right here.
Okay. And you recall without a doubt it was one time?
Yes. Because I don't ever try to shake him too much. Because I don't want to hurt him.
So you shook before like that?
Not really. I mean,
Well, you say you try not to do it too much.
I've done it like twice, maybe when not paying attention, but it's not, it's just pay attention. Because he likes to drift off when you're talking. But
He doesn't pay attention all the time when you're trying to get onto it.
not all the time, but getting better about it.
It's very frustrating, isn't it, when you're trying to get onto it.
A little bit, yes, but
And we're both dads, we know how kids are. I mean, we know that kids
frustrating.
get frustrating.
Yeah, it's very frustrating, but
You're trying to get breakfast in the morning and a mess all over.
yeah.
Here's the deal, dude. We've talked to the doctors, we've showed them the video because they obviously needed to understand things. That's not what happened.
That's what I saw. That's everything I saw. I've been thinking all day yesterday if there's anything else.
The injuries that he had didn't go outside. We know that.
Did go outside.
We know he didn't.
I don't know what to tell you.
He collapsed right there, and that's when he became motionless. And those are experts that can tell us that.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, man. He hit his head, I sent him outside, and then I found him outside.
Well, you shook him before he went outside.
Yeah, but it wasn't hard. He was fine. Walked outside.
No, it wasn't. Collapsed right there, man.
No, he didn't. Did not collapse in my arms.
Have you seen
I
pictures?
think I want to talk to a lawyer. With everything that's going on, you guys are honestly making me a nervous wreck. I got Aaron's family harassing me. I can't even go see Shiloh.
This is Shiloh. This is. It didn't come from one time. Like, did not walk around.
He was not hurt when I shot him. I can promise you that. Did not collapse in front of me. I'm telling you the God honest truth.
I'm telling you what the experts say.
Okay, and I hear what you're saying, but I'm telling you what I know. That's all I know. I've thought through and through if there's anything else, and there's not. It didn't collapse in front of me, I can promise you that.
Just telling you what the experts are saying.
Okay, and I hear you.
The experts see this stuff all the
There's gotta
time.
be something else.
No.
I didn't hurt that boy. It didn't collapse in front of me, I'm not lying to you.
I don't think he hurt the. I think that it was an accident. It's my opinion. I think that you got. I think
hurt him, then he did collapse outside. I'm not saying the shake didn't hurt, but it didn't collapse right there, and it wasn't a hard shake. If I did accidentally hurt him, it was not intentional, but it did go outside. It did not collapse there. And
I can agree with it being accidental. I think it was frustration. You shook him and sent him
I
outside.
wasn't that frustrated.
I mean, you wanted a brand new shirt. You got pissed off.
But he does that all the time. I'm used to it. Honestly, I love that more than myself. That is my boy. I can't even fucking go see him because Aaron's whole family's threatening my life. I'm scared for my life. You guys are pulling me in here every day, pretty much accusing me. I don't see Lena. I miss my family. I'm a nervous wreck, man.
Because we know that what happened isn't what you've told us. That's the only reason we keep bringing you in here. You came up here the first couple couple times you wanted to help us out.
And I still want to help you out. And I'm telling you everything I know. It was outside when I found him. I am not lying to you. He was laying on the ground right where I showed you when I found him. Period.
And climbing on the table that's covered with dust.
I don't know if he was climbing on the table. I didn't say he was climbing on the table. I just said I found him on the cement.
So that's the end of the police interview. What actually happened was Shiloh pissed Matthew off so much. Matthew, I'm guessing Shiloh was eating ravioli. Maybe he made a mess. Matthew got his head, slammed it everywhere. Blood everywhere. This idea of them playing outside was a complete fabrication. As in, he found the child outside. Now, Matthew himself was sentenced to 15 years in prison. A week after the incident, the boy Shiloh unfortunately died in hospital. Hence the arrest, and he was charged. However, Matthew was released in 2023. Comment, tell me what you think.